Welcome to this week's podcast. I'm Tim Weigel. I'm the Grape and Hops IPM Specialist with the New York State IPM program and also the team leader with the Lake Erie Regional Grape Program. Previously, we talked about developing and implementing an IPM program for your vineyard operation, and we're going to continue on that today. Just want to talk about some of the resources that are available. The one thing, there's just a wealth of information out there. If you Google Vineyard IPM, there's just all sorts of information that'll come up. The one thing that I want to warn you about doing that is that make sure that you're getting information that is useful for our growing conditions. If you're by Lake Erie, or if you're in the Finger Lakes, the Hudson Valley, Long Island, growing conditions can be different even within those areas as you move away from lakes. It can be different. So just make sure that you're getting information. If you're pulling it from Australia or California, it may not work as well for you. So some of the resources, I think the one thing that you really should have is the Bible. That's the annual New York and Pennsylvania Pest Management Guidelines for grapes. And the faculty and extension staff from Penn State and Cornell University get together and update this annually, and basically it gives you the information you need to put together a disease, insect, weed management program. It has a lot of the information there that you can choose from, really helpful in developing not only a management plan but also a resistance management plan, because it gives you the different modes of action and the different resistant groups. The next is, and we talked about this if you've seen our podcast before, I talk a lot about the NUA, or the Network for the Environment and Weather Applications. This is a really great resource. You should get to know it even before, if you're just getting into growing grapes. You should get to know it because it's going to give you not only the current weather and pest models for diseases and grape berry moth, but also allows you to go back and get that information historically from the day that station was set up and started sending weather information to the NUA website. Another is the New York State IPM program fact sheets for disease and insects. You can access those online, eCommons, Cornell, or you can go on LERGP.com and go under the IPM section, and we have all the fact sheets there. That's actually an easier way to get to them than going through eCommons, but there you'll get the biology, how to identify it, the life cycle, and some of the management strategies, when you should time your management strategies for the different pests. You'll learn whether or not it's a primary pest or a secondary pest, one that you don't need to worry about every year. Vine Balance is another. This was a self-assessment workbook for growers. It was developed as a sustainability program, kind of let you know where you're at. It gives you a range of practices that you can be doing. You look at it and you can rank yourself to see how you're doing. The next step was Pennsylvania actually came up with one for Lake Erie. It focuses more on the water quality going into Lake Erie, and also there's a bigger economic component in PA vines. Then there's the video podcasts that are found, what we're doing right now, on LERGP.com. If you scroll through those, they're either on YouTube or through our LERGP.com site. You'll see that there's a number of podcasts that are on specific IPM practices, along with just any number of other practices. Kevin Martin does a great job of going over the economics of growing grapes as well. Then there's the Efficient Vineyard website. That's one that you could check out, see how sensors will help you to identify trouble spots in your vineyard before you can see it with your naked eye. We're actually using NDVI sensors as part of the grape rootworm project to go through. We can identify areas where vine vigor is relatively low compared to neighboring vines, and we can go in and focus on our scouting there to see if grape rootworm happens to be a problem. Then there's the GIS maps of your operation. Been talking about this a lot too. If you don't have a map of your operation, come in and talk to Kim. I mean, it's crucial. It'll tell you the exact acreage, or as exact as you can get, of your different vineyard blocks. So you know that you're spraying this amount of land. And so you don't have to calibrate your sprayer by, driving through and saying, well, I sprayed 10 acres about. You'll know how many acres are in each one. And then the last thing is to join your local extension program, whether it's here at the Lake Erie Grape Program or Long Island Grape Program, Hudson Valley, or the Finger Lakes. So if you have any questions or comments about developing and implementing an IPM program in your vineyard operation, or if you just have suggestions for future podcasts, please put it in the comment sections below.